All right, so these are probably the most controversial release of the year thus far. This is the Air Jordan 4 in the Reimagined BRED colorway. Nice box, first of all, there. And here is the controversy right here, because these, they look great, right? They look pretty good. Some people are going to say, no, they look terrible, because there is obviously a very different look to this shoe, even though it is a BRED colorway, with the reimagination being leather. So there is a conversation point to be had, so let's go ahead and have it. 3 reasons to cop these, 3 reasons why you should avoid. Let's go ahead and get into the video. First things first, we'll give you guys a quick overview of the shoe. Now, yes, this is a GS pair. I don't have the men's pair. Unfortunately, I missed out on my size, but I did get them in my kid size, so he should be happy that he got a pair of these, which is kind of fun because he actually had the last retro from 2019 that I have as well. He had those back in the day, and he would have been, I guess, like 3 years old when he had these. He didn't even know what they were back in the day, and I don't think he really even cared, but hopefully he'll like this pair. Just a quick overview of the shoe, though, and I'm assuming these are fairly similar to the men's pair, but if I'm wrong, of course, help me out, leave a comment. You do have the Nike Air branding on the back, and then something that is very interesting, and some people are going to find it good, some people are going to find it weird, but you do have a full grain leather upper on this shoe, not the nubuck that we're used to. The nubuck definitely absorbs the light a lot better. You don't have the shine that you have going on, especially with light on this shoe. Some people find that a little bit annoying, and we'll get more into that in a little bit. You do have a Jumpman on the bottom of the shoe, at least on the GS pair, and then you do have the Nike Air on the last retro of the BRED colorway. You have the Jordan with the Flight logo on the tongue. That was such an iconic thing to me back in the day that it's just nice to be able to see the Flight with the Jumpman on there. Then you do have the visible air unit on the midsole. Then you have a white midsole with black in the back half and the cement color on the front half in a rubberized material with the red stars up front. I always like the accents of that cement gray colorway on the laces as well as the liner, and then you do have that also on the heel. Primarily a black upper with little accents of red. The funny thing is these are dubbed BRED colorway because it's black and red equals bread. Most of us already know that, but some of you guys might not. But if you look at the overall volume of red versus cement, I think that this is more of a cement color than red. It also does come with a little hang tag with the Nike Air on it right here in black, kind of like that. The normal ones are usually orange that they came with. Anyway, the first reason I think you should cop these is obviously it's a play on the original. We love the original one. The Air Jordan 4s from back in the day were some of my favorites, probably ever. I think that right now the Air Jordan 4 has quite a wave as well, especially last year, like sneaker of the year talk, quote unquote, with the SB Jordans, which I never did try. Everybody says they're more comfortable than a regular pair of Jordan 4s. I don't even see how that's even possible because Jordan 4s are not very comfortable in comparison to like comfort shoes on the market, but maybe they are more comfortable. Maybe the shape is better. I don't really know. I never got my hands on a pair, unfortunately. But the Air Jordan 4 wave is still pretty strong. It's kind of taken over that wave from the Air Jordan 1 as of right now, at least. This being a reimagination of the original colorway of the BRED, I think is definitely a plus. I mean, there's a good amount of us that have been buying sneakers for the last 4 or 5 years since the last release in 2019. However, not everybody was collecting sneakers back then. And so now if you're all of a sudden into it and you missed out on these, you have another opportunity to get something very similar, the reimagined version in today's day and age. It's going to be less expensive than buying the 2019 version, which the prices on these might go up because of this release, but who knows. It's also the 35-year anniversary of the BRED 4s. 1989 was when they originally released, which is crazy how long ago that was. Also, some people might just hate on the fact that this is not true to the original because of the leather upper, but I will ask you guys this, and if you don't like this reimagination of the BRED 4s because it's not true to the original, you guys probably hate the off-white version of the BRED 4s as well that never released, right? Gotcha, right? Those things are definitely ones that people would go crazy over if they actually released. It's kind of like Virgil's reimagination of a deconstructed version of an Air Jordan 4. That being said, it's a different version, a variation, if you will, of the original BRED. And this is in that similar vein, which is hilarious because I know there's some people out there that are going to absolutely trash these, hate these, and then call the BRED 4 off-whites their grails. Don't be that sneaker guy. The next reason I think these should be a cop for you guys is actually because of the materials. Yes, I know it is not true to the original with the nubuck, but it is full grain leather, and you can actually tell that even on the GS pair. It is a really thick boy cut of leather, not something usually we see in Jordans. Top grain leather is the higher quality cut, and you can definitely tell there is a thicker cut when you're looking around the stitching, and you can see that raw edge sort of exposed there. It's really, really thick comparison to the regular pairs of Jordans. The only thing that I found a little bit odd about the leather on the upper, and maybe this is the same on some of your guys' pairs that you get, but it is weird that you have some panels that are like not tumbled leather and then other panels that are tumbled, which is weird. Like around the laces, this is tumbled leather, and then the tongue is tumbled leather, but the other panels on the shoe are just kind of like more of a smooth leather. So personally, I would prefer if they didn't use that tumbled leather on certain panels. It does kind of have a weird look because that tumbled leather doesn't feel as nice as the more premium stuff that you have around the toe and everywhere else in the shoe. And again, even on the GS pair, I'm wondering about the toddlers and stuff. That would be rad if they actually included that in the toddlers because the price points and everything. But I like that they use a premium leather on the Air Jordan 4 Retros, and if they can do this more often, we'd greatly appreciate it, Jordan Brand. But more importantly, I like that they called out that they're using full grain leather. It's rare that they actually do something like that, and it actually says in the product description on Nike sneakers. And speaking of that, the third reason I think these should be a cop for you guys is because of the original shape. They actually called that out on the website as well, that they actually went back to like the OG shape versus like the last retro. You could tell there is definitely a different shape between the two shoes. Personally, I'm a fan of the retro shapes. I'm used to them. It's something that I grew up with because I didn't have the OGs back in the day. All I had was the retros. Some people are very particular of the nostalgia of the way that the shoe should look and feel. And so like Air Jordan 1s with the like original shape, people like better. The Air Jordan 11, people like with the higher cut patent leather versus the lower cut. Personally, I like the retros and the lower cut patent leather for the 11s. Similarly, people like the original cut of the Air Jordan 4s versus like the retros that we've had in the last handful of years. I honestly don't really care as much, but it should be worth noting that Jordan Brand actually took the time to try to recreate something very true to the original shape, and I think that that's kind of cool. Now, to play devil's advocate, a couple reasons for you guys to skip this release. The first one being Captain Obvious. Maybe some people aren't going to like the upper being leather instead of nubuck. I think that that is going to throw some people off. In fact, it still does throw me off a little bit. It is weird seeing the light hit the leather on the Air Jordan 4 in the BRED colorway and then seeing that kind of shine off of it. It almost gives you like a Jordan 4 knockoff feel in a sense because of the extra shine when you have it in specific lights. Again, it's a reimagination, so full grain leather is a plus. The fact that it's high quality, but it might throw people off again. And I'm an older head, so like for me, I'm like, it is kind of weird. And then I'm like, it's kind of cool too. It's like mixed emotions when you look at the shoe for sure. The next reason why these could be a pass for some people is because of the price point. The men's pairs are $215. I actually had to double check. I was like, I thought they were $210. It says $215 on the website. The GSs are $160, which is crazy. If I told my son how much these cost, he would much rather have me buy $100 in V-Bucks than give him these shoes. He wouldn't want them that much, but he's not much of a sneaker kid yet. Yet, I tell you, someday he might enjoy sneakers. And Maddie size and the kid sizes, those are $100, and even infant sizes are $85. So hopefully those infant sizes have full grain leather as well. The price points are definitely elevated, but that's across the board in all products. So it's not too shocking, but $215 might be enough to be like, nah, I'm good. Especially for those people that pay tax in certain areas. And then if you have to pay shipping as well, I mean, you're pushing $250 or $260 on a pair potentially. And the last reason why these could be a pass for you guys is potentially Jordan Brand could just be releasing a lost and found version of the original BRED 4s in the regular nubuck instead. And chances are that would happen in the next 5 years anyway. So is it worth buying these or waiting for the next release? That depends on you and the way your bank account is set up. Obviously, if you need to satiate the palate of a BRED 4, this is a great alternative in my opinion. It feels like there's quite a bit of hype around these things. So chances are they're going to sell out at retail. So if you get a pair at retail, that's probably a W instead of having to pay an elevated market. But if you don't want to pay that $215 plus for a pair of sneakers right now anyway, just wait it out. Chances are they will release an OG colorway in these in the OG materials as well. So it could be a pass for you guys for the other reasons that I listed. But leave a comment in the comment section. What do you guys think about the reimagined version of the BRED 4s? Again, I'm kind of on the fence on them. Yes, it's worth buying in my opinion. High quality leather is always a plus. But like I have the other ones. So for me, like I definitely would prefer the original kind of nubuck material over the higher quality even leather. That's only because I love the way the nubuck absorbs the light on the BRED 4s. It just reminds me of my youth, and I definitely appreciate that overall look better. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section. What do you guys think about the reimagined Air Jordan 4s in the BRED colorway? If you guys are looking to cop, they drop on the 17th. Hopefully you guys will be able to get them for those people that are looking. And thank you guys for stopping by and watching the video. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like on the video, subscribe. Hopefully you'll see you back on the channel for some more content soon. All right, peace guys.